The President, Muhammadu Buhari, emerged victorious in the 2019 presidential election, having polled 15,191,847 votes. To his closest challenger, the former Vice President and candidate of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who polled 11,262,978 votes. He has rejected the results, though, and is heading to court. Meanwhile, the President says that the next 4 years will be tough as his administration pursues its campaign promises of securing the nation, growing the economy and fighting corruption. In President Buhari's words, "My last lap of 4 years, I think, is going to be tough." What does this mean to Nigerians? What more can the people demand from the government in the next 4 years? Data feeds are coming through in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms, channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. You can follow us right now on m.channelstv.com as well. And on Facebook, we get all our platforms of social media covered. Be part of the show. Tweet at Gimba Umar CTV. Use the hashtag State of the Nation. Let's get your thoughts in. The National Working Committee of the ruling All Progressives Congress has suspended the governors of Imo and Ogun State, Rochas Okorocha and Ibukule Amosun, following allegations of anti-party activities allegedly committed against by them. Upon the suspension, the committees further recommended the expulsion of both governors by the National Executive Council of the party. What does this mean for the APC-led government? Will the two governors challenge this through legal means, though? What next for the senators-elect? It's prime time here in Lagos, and this is State of the Nation. Welcome everyone in Nigeria and the rest of the world. I am Gimba Umar and this is State of the Nation. The 2019 presidential elections has been won and lost. In the aftermath of the elections, though, the president, who was returned elected, said that his next 4 years will be tougher. In his words, "My last lap of 4 years, I think, is going to be tough." Let's analyze the president's comments. Joining me from our Abuja studios is Garba Ibrahim, a political analyst, as well as Kayode Ajulo, who will be joining us much later, I understand, on the show. We'll also be having Oladende Ario, he's a security expert. He'll be joining us at some point as well. But I want to thank you so much indeed, Garba Ibrahim. Let me start with you in our Abuja studios. "My last lap of 4 years, I think, is going to be tough." Those are the words of the president. What's your interpretation of the president's statement in view of the policies implemented in the first term of this administration?
Thank you, Gimba. Good evening, Nigerians. Well, Gimba, straight to the point, I think, that statement is motivating and is encouraging. We actually expect that because the previous 4 years that we just got it by the side was actually not to the expectation of the people. And if the president is giving us assurance at this moment, I think it's something that, yes, Nigerians should be looking forward to that. But meanwhile, we hope we are not going to get another set of cabinet, or probably it's going to take us another 6 months into the second tenure before we get to know who the president is going to work with. Because from all indication, what is happening now in Nigeria or in the Nigerian politics, it is high time electorate starts paying attention to looking into the possibilities of individuals that may end up working with the president, instead of relying on just one person. If you remember very well, APC actually took advantage of the credibility of Mr. President, and it serves the party as more like an umbrella. A lot of people that are not supposed to be there were under the umbrella, doing all they could, actually not helping the president or not helping the country. We saw that, and we hope that Mr. President is going to pay attention to the yearnings of the people, because if we're still going to start paying for petrol as a petrol pump price at the same cost today, Mr. President should know that, yeah, we agree it's going to be tough, but if he really wants to help Nigerians and the common man on the street, there are things he should focus on. One, the economy. Talking about economy, two basic things must be looked into. One is the petrol. Two is probably we should look at electricity. And also, let me bring in also something that has, the security, because it's very much important, though I had him talking about that. So, Gimba, I think these are the expectation of the people for us to believe that yeah, it's going to be tough to those in the system, not the common man that voted for him in the office.
You talked about the economy and then with security, talked about security also. But the president is the pioneer of the fight against corruption in this country, and time and again it has been underscored that perhaps the president should do something a little bit more with regards to the fight against corruption and strengthening the institutions, building institutions rather than building individuals. What do you think about that?
Yes, very important here. Mr. Gimba, let me speak as one of the Nigerians that are actually not supporting what is happening. Looking at the state of the nation, sincerely speaking, I am not celebrating, and I know many Nigerians are not celebrating this victory. Not because I don't want to celebrate, no, because we see what Nigerians, we're living like a deja vu, like a repeated situation. Right from 1970s to 80s, our institutions, like learning institutions, were so good. Our economy was actually booming, thinking that, yeah, it was raising our hope, thinking that we're going to have a better country anytime soon. But the same key players, the Obasanjos, the Buahris, and all these individuals are the same people. We had a little bit of some people coming in, but these same people actually took to their steps. So if we are talking about improvement or good development with regards to governance and leadership in Nigeria, if Mr. President is not going to press some hard buttons and ensure that the masses will actually continue to stand with him, sincerely speaking, there's no point we raising our hopes, because if our institutions, learning institutions, will continue to go on strike, if economy will still be in, the common man is the one paying so hard, those that are supposed to actually help the president improve on our institutions, I'm talking about institutions building economy, institutions giving us electricity, institutions giving us, fighting corruption and ensuring, building more confidence in people. If we don't get this, we're wasting our time. It is more like we're still living in the same old 70s and 80s. It is high time Nigerians realize that we will not continue to live in this manner. We always go to to vote, and we vote for leaders believing that something is going to happen, something good is going to happen. But at the end of the day, we end up paying for electricity so high, paying for petrol so high, insecurity is killing us and all that. So I think, Gimba, we should be telling ourselves nothing but the truth, that yes, we need leaders, we don't need politicians. Thank you.
Now, for some, this may be consolidating on the gains of the administration in its second term. And you've talked about where the president should start from. You're looking at the cardinal points that he's already mentioned: security, economy, and the fight against corruption, which you've just talked about now. But when you talked about that space, that little window that we had, and saw some presidential candidates who are new players at that level with some of the new parties that we saw, what happened? Did they fall short of doing something right that will suggest to the ordinary Nigerian that we still have brilliant minds who could as well be in this political race, not necessarily winning in 2019, but looking ahead?
Oh, yes. I think what played out this election is the usual thing that has always happened to Nigeria. The government or the incumbents always have the power to mobilize, always have resources around to actually deploy. And that was actually what played out. And unfortunately, the opposition we had, or we still have, is this same crop of people that were made and built by the establishment. So the other individual candidates that appeared from other political parties, they actually came. We were thinking, yes, Nigerians are going to be reasonable and responsible enough, politically responsible enough to know that, yes, it is time for us to move on. Moving on in the sense that these people that probably may have also started their career from the establishment, but this time around, they have realized that, yes, something must be done, something better must be done. They came, they said they wanted to contest under some other political platforms, and they didn't make any impact, not because they're not good, but because Nigerians are used to this culture of actually going with the larger crowd. They don't want to listen to a beginner or someone that is actually trying to say, look, we need to start all over. So I think this is what happened. But notwithstanding, it is high time for Nigerians to realize that we should, by any means, come together, mobilize Nigerians, especially the common man, to understand that for as long as these individuals are made it in the establishment, or that started in the establishment, that had their orientation within the establishment, these people have seen the bad side of institutions. These people have learned from how to make money, how to enrich themselves. I doubt much if we will not be here talking almost the same, singing the same song all the time. Gimba.
Even though some other people will argue with you that they are not necessarily, as you say, enriching their pockets, but are working for the interests of the people of this country. But Kaide Ajulo is a lawyer. He has since joined us also in our Abuja studios. We've waited patiently until this time that we have you in the studios. Thank goodness you're able to make it. But we've been looking at an X-raying the way forward and trying to see that very essence of unity and the aftermath of the election is well managed, such that we still remain as one indivisible country. But in your view, what would you say will be the takeoff point for this new administration, such that they hit the ground running and the impact is felt that this government really means what it says when it said that it will not leave anyone behind?
Well, I want to believe that the takeoff point is for the president to realize one thing, that his election, it is more or less the pass mark of what he has been doing, particularly on his three cardinal projects. First one, the economy. Second, the security, and the war against corruption. And he needs to know that it is more like a vote of confidence that this is what I've done for the past 3 to 4 years now, and that is one of the reasons Nigerian decided to give me another one, life breath of another one time. So as it is expected that the president will kick the ground running. I don't think this time around we need not wait for another 6 months before the president will tell you we're having the minister, because as at that time, for a whole 6 months, the country business and economy is comatose. That's why you see that any projection, what everybody seems to be saying is, we are waiting for the president to constitute his cabinet. And I believe one thing, all the issues, most of the hues and cries, particularly in the area where, because one of the things that we need not deceive ourselves, despite the fact that some of us support the president, we still support him, is in the area that he needs to reassure every part of the country. Either you are Igbos, you are Yorubas, you are Hausa, you are Kanuri, you are Fulani, need to assure them that I remain your president. You need not let Nigerians realize that, look, we voted for a Fulani president, or we voted for Kanuri president. And with that, since he even mentioned it, he acknowledges some of where he has done something which is not, and that's why he promised that he needs to fix it right, and that Nigeria should expect that war against corruption. And he should realize that in this election, the unknown people, the masses, deliberately, and they went all out to vote for him.